Hello everyone and welcome to the third webinar in our series. And we're hosting this webinar series to launch our new and exciting platform that you can see in front of you now. So this week we're going to be talking about the new Insights functionality. My name is Tom Deeney. I'm one of the account coordinators here at Relative in our London office, and also on the team is Beth Thomas, who is one of our Insight Analysts sat up in our lovely Lancashire office. So in this session we'll be taking you through some of the key changes that we've made to the platform, and crucially why we've made these changes. We'll talk you through exploring the results and then creating and building insights that will enable you to share these with your colleagues and build a cohesive picture around your findings. This is going to be quite a high level overview of the functionality. If you want any more information, then get in contact with your account managers and they'll be able to help you further. So I'm now going to hand you over to Beth and she'll talk you about the kind of why we've made the changes.
Thanks very much, Tom. So if you're familiar with the last iteration of the dashboard, you'll have noticed that a lot has changed in this new release. So not only have we got this nice new projects view, if we go into a project, we've got these questions, and once you're actually in a comparison, if you want to click on that, we've got this lovely shiny new insights view. And this is where you're going to land initially. You'll notice at the top of the page here that you can sort of tab between this and the Explore view. And this is going to look a lot more familiar to those of you who've used the dashboard before. And you're going to be using the Explore view to build up your insights. So as to why we've added this, we found that there's a lot of actionable insights that users were pulling out were actually spread across multiple types of difference. So they were finding interesting stuff all spread out across topics, words, phrases, grammar, etc. So we thought it would make sense for you to be able to gather all of it together in one place. I'd think of our insights page like a drawing board to sort of build up and frame the analysis. So, and because it can look quite pretty as well, the idea is that we're going to allow you to be able to present your analysis to colleagues and clients. They're going to help you tell the story you're telling about the comparison between your two data sets. So all of these are going to be made up of one or more language features which tell part of the story about the data set. And Tom's going to be taking you through an example just now.
Cool, thanks, Beth. So as I mentioned before, this is the kind of the front end where you'll land in the new platform, and this is where each one of your projects will be displayed. So we'll just jump into one of these projects that we've already made. And this is the geographical comparison we did, comparing how UK and US gamers talk using data taken from Twitter. So if we jump into this, as Beth mentioned, there'll be a number of questions to sit in this. So jumping into this one at the top, comparing UK and US gamers, we can then see this kind of high-level overview. So we're comparing 300,000 words to 500,000 words. And then, so the first step to kind of build up these insights is jumping into this Explore tab. And this will then show you the differences in the topics between the UK gamers and US gamers. So to build up our insights, what we'll do is we'll have a look through these topics to look for anything interesting. So each one of these topics is built up with a number of keywords. So business selling is built up with words such as store, trade, buy, and pre-order. And as you can see, this is 2.5 times more likely to occur in the UK gamers data set compared to the US gamers set. So what we'll do is we'll just have a little scroll through here and then come up with a topic that we think is interesting that we can then build an insight from. So one here is this topic of cheap. So UK gamers talk 49.5 times more commonly about the topic of cheap, which we might consider insightful. So what we'll do is we'll create an insight using these 3 little buttons on the right. So once you press this button here, you can then give the insight a name, so something like value for money, and a quick description. Cool. So once you've done that, the actual insight card we've built on this Insights tab here. So you can see the topic of cheap is highlighted in this value for money card with the description there. So once you've got one topic, you can then start to build up this insight with additional phrases, words, and grammar. So jumping on to say the phrases, this will then take you back into the Explore tab, where you can search for more phrases that are going to add to this story around your findings. So what we can do is we can go into here and search for similar related phrases. So this phrase of even cheaper is infinitely more likely to turn up in the UK gamer set compared to the US gamer set. So crucially, what we should do is before adding it to the insights card, we need to have a look at the context, the verbatim context around the word. So clicking on this word or this phrase, it will then show you the exact verbatim quotes that are taken from Twitter, so you can see the actual context in which people are using it. You can then click on these three little buttons and add it to any of the insights. So we'll just add it to this value for money insight that we've already created. Jumping back to the insights tab, you can then see this card is built up, and you can add additional topics, words, and grammar to really kind of build this cohesive story. I'll now hand you back over to Beth, who's going to talk you through adding verbatim quotes to the card itself.
Okay, thanks, Tom. So now we've got this insight, the next step is to add verbatim quotes to them. So you can do this by clicking on any of the bubbles and exploring context around the language feature. So once you've found a quote that fits nicely and illustrates what you want to say, you'll just click these three dots here and add it to the insight. This will then pop up on the insights card. So this is going to help illustrate exactly what you mean by your insight description, as well as sort of adding a little bit of context and a little bit of colour to the story you're building. So once you've got your insight complete with context, with bubbles and quotes, you then, the next stage after that is to add an impact or an action, which is just up here. And this is basically how an insight might guide your behaviour or influence how you choose to do something. So for this insight, the impact or the action might be something like UK gamers will respond better to deals they perceive as money saving. So once you've done that and you've repeated this process of exploring an insight creating several times, what you'll find is that you've built up a number of insights and impacts and actions that are going to answer the question that you posed right at the beginning of the process. You'll end up with a really nice story that explains what distinguishes your two data sets and how that's actually important to you.